Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. Stock Money Lizard's noticing something interesting. Bitcoin is following the same pattern throughout the bull market. It is interesting. I don't think I've seen such a consistent Bitcoin chart here for the last 2 years as I've seen in this particular cycle. We've got the megaphone, as he points out here. That's that pattern there that kind of resembles a megaphone. Then we've got Q4 2023, that impulsive move to the upside. We have the same thing in 2024, guys, that megaphone falling wedge pattern. And then Q4 2024, we did see an impulsive move. We saw two more megaphones here. Now we're coming into Q4 2025. And so what he's projecting is another impulsive move to the upside. All these impulsive moves occur in Q4. This is where historically usually most pumps happen, preceded by a longer consolidation period in the form of a falling wedge or bullish megaphone. And regarding the narrative, in each of these phases, Crash Profits claimed it was the top. Remember the famous biggest bull trap I have ever seen in early 2023? Guys, Q4 is loading. And so if we bring up the Bitcoin chart here, you guys can see we have actually made a bit of progress here. Bitcoin is actually down by a little bit right now. Right now, trading at about $112,000. We did reach a high of about $113,200. Bitcoin's actually not the biggest mover at the moment. In the last 24 hours, Bitcoin's only up 0.62%. We've got Ethereum up 0.46%. XRP guys up 1.76%. Some of these other altcoins are doing trying to reclaim some of those losses that they saw earlier on. Dogecoin is up 2.86. We've got Cardano up 3.43. Hypecoin is up 7.92. That's been a big surprise this cycle. And other coins obviously faring okay. We're seeing a bit of a spark in the altcoin market, which is good. So interesting to see that. I still feel like we're progressing, but slowly. We got the market cap up 1.28%. I mean, it's a start. I will take it. Fear and greed, though, hasn't really moved too much. Altcoin season hasn't really moved either. It's just kind of been hovering around that midpoint. Whether it moves more towards altcoins or Bitcoin, still kind of relatively flat there in the middle. But guys, XRP volume has skyrocketed 141%, this courtesy of XRP Crypto Wolf. So price has risen for XRP, I mean for other cryptos as well. This has triggered a significant surge in trading volume, though, over the last 24 hours. This is according to CoinMarketCap data. XRP experienced a surge of over 144% in volume. Notably, at press time, XRP trading volume stands at about 4.94 billion, representing about just over 144% increase within this period. The volume spike likely came as market watchers observed that the asset's price held above critical support. So we have now seen XRP prove itself, guys, at these levels down there. We are now seeing on the micro time frame. This is the hourly chart. We're seeing XRP actually start to make new highs here, and it did breach that $3 level yet again. So that localized high is now $3.03 per coin, and now we're hovering in and around $3 per coin. So this was where we were before. We did see a bit of a downturn there. I think this is all very positive, starting to make that way up, starting to see euphoria build, starting to see that volume build down in there. You guys can see the volume bars down in here. So we are actually seeing more pep in XRP's step at the moment. Other altcoins are following suit. We needed this push, though. I feel like we needed this push for XRP, especially because, we were getting a little worried that it was hovering back below $3 per coin. That $2.72 mark was really kind of the end of the road there. And XRP, as you guys can see, back a few days ago, actually it was September 1st, did bounce down, came back up, found its support again at around $2.72. I mean, it did wick down below that, but as you guys can see, that was the beginning of the trajectory to the upside, forming new higher highs and higher lows. So I'm happy to see that. And Micah Paul here just giving us some perspective, guys. I was just thinking how people in crypto talk about making enough money this cycle to retire, but in all honesty, all you need is enough to retire for 4 years and then do it all again. This is if we do, in fact, see another 4-year cycle. And, I kind of believe this philosophy here. For more information, and I'm going to be putting out a new Patreon update very soon for my Patreon subscribers, patreon.com/workingmoneychannel, if you want to hear my perspective on the crypto market. This is now my 3rd cycle in crypto, and I've learned a lot over the last 7 years. So follow me if that's something you are interested in. I have rolled back prices. It is only $5 a month. Old school prices due to popular demand. So you got to subscribe and stay subscribed, though, for a limited time only. Micah Paul continues by saying, there will be another cycle, and I find things a lot easier to manage when I break it down into smaller time frames. So That is also part of why I have the Patreon. I want to live by life as well. So I do want to cash out of some of my cryptocurrency, have some money on the side, and then reinvest when the time is right. And so part of that is, of course, following the narrative, following the news, gauging where crypto is going, and also following updates like this, because we do not want to be caught off guard. Altcoin Daily posting this. Attention, all crypto users, especially those who have custodied their crypto on some sort of, whether it's a hot wallet or cold wallet storage. Share this info with anyone you know who uses crypto. A major wallet malware issue is under investigation. And guys, apparently this is hitting all types of wallets. You should exercise extreme caution when sending transactions. So for example, if you're using a hardware wallet, you're safe as long as you verify every transaction. If you use a hot wallet, the recommendation is to refrain from using it for the time being. So be very, very careful. He was retweeting out Charles Grimet's tweet here. This is one of the CEOs over there at Ledger. There's a large-scale supply chain attack in progress. The NPM account of a reputable developer has been compromised. The affected packages have already been downloaded over 1 billion times, meaning the entire JavaScript ecosystem may be at risk. So this, again, the CTO at Ledger. But guys, Ledger has identified the problem. He was the one who actually put it out there on Twitter. Ledger devices are not and have not been at risk during an ecosystem-wide software supply chain attack that was discovered. So, guys, if you're looking for a hardware solution, I do still think that hardware wallets are the best protection for your cryptocurrency and your investment. I've been using the Ledger products for a very long time now, and I do have an affiliate link in the description of the video if you guys are interested in purchasing a Ledger Nano. You can use my affiliate. You don't have to use it. At the end of the day, these kinds of things occur. Luckily for us, Ledger has not been compromised, for those of you guys using the Ledger Nano. In terms of the Ledger, only Ledger devices have secure screens powered by a secure element chip to ensure what you see on screen is what you actually sign. Ledger devices support clear signing, so enabling human-readable transaction details for verification, and transaction check on device, which warns users of potential scams. Remember, never blind sign and always verify addresses before you approve transactions. Your private keys and recovery phrase remain safe. So that is the update from Ledger. We got some RLUSD news, guys. VivoPower will now accept RLUSD payments in its electric vehicle subsidiary. This courtesy of the wrath of Kahneman. So they're going to be accepting the RLUSD stablecoin for payments. This is, part of their strategy here. They just announced today that their electric vehicle subsidiary Tembo is accepting payments from customers and partners in RLUSD, the stablecoin established by Ripple. As a business that operates globally across developed as well as developing nations, Tembo has been seeking practical solutions for real-life challenges that affect conventional international wire transfers, including lead time and high transaction costs. This is particularly pronounced for partners and customers in developing markets. With RLUSD, it is possible for international wire transfers to be effectuated almost instantaneously and at a fraction of the cost of conventional wire transfers. Furthermore, given the RLUSD is pegged 1-to-1 against the US dollar and fully backed by USD deposits, short-term US treasuries, and other cash equivalents, it provides the capital stability that non-stablecoin digital assets cannot offer. So this is the latest here. Strategic rationale from VivoPower. They want to improve efficiency, speed up transactions, especially for international customers and partners. They want to reduce costs, lower fees and delays associated with traditional banking channels, support innovation. Of course, there's the innovative aspect to it all, and it's all compliant, right? It meets strict requirements for compliance and audit standards, and expand their treasury options. So VivoPower has been, one of those companies that initially decided to custody XRP, and they want to do that for their treasury specifically. Well, now, guys, they're accepting the RLUSD for stablecoin payments. This means a lot, I think, in terms of where the RLUSD specifically, but where ultimately stablecoins, US-denominated stablecoins, are moving on a global stage. I don't know if you guys caught this. This courtesy of Bank XRP, Putin's advisor. He says the U.S. has devised a crypto scheme to erase its massive debt at the world's expense. And essentially what he's saying is that they're weaponizing U.S.-denominated stablecoins. Let me translate this for you guys because it is in Russian, so I will be reading the subtitles on the screen. He says the U.S. is now trying to rewrite the rules of the gold and cryptocurrency markets, is what he's saying specifically here. Remember the size of their debt, $35 trillion. These two sectors, crypto and gold, are essentially alternatives to the traditional global currency system. Washington's actions in this area clearly highlight one of its main goals: to urgently address the declining trust in the dollar. As in the 1930s and in the 1970s, the U.S. plans to solve its financial problems at the world's expense. So this is what he's purporting here, this time by pushing everyone into a crypto cloud, or into the crypto cloud. Over time, once part of the U.S. national debt is placed into stablecoins, Washington will devalue that debt. What does that mean? Simply put, they have a $35 trillion currency debt. They'll move into the crypto cloud, devalue it, and start from scratch. Wow. Huge accusations here from the Russian government. That's the reality for those who are so enthusiastic about crypto. So obviously, it looks as though now other nations are realizing that this is perhaps what Donald Trump has planned all along. Simply put, the United States have a $35 trillion currency debt. This courtesy of Crypto Cowboy, just kind of reiterating what he's saying here. And they want to put it up in the crypto cloud, devalue it, start from scratch. The man speaking in the video is Anton Kobyakov, okay, and he's a special advisor to Russian President Vladimir Putin. With such concerns, this coming from Bill Morgan, with such concerns, why would anybody not trust the USD stablecoin, and why possibly would someone prefer, and why would there be a need for a neutral bridge asset that can move value in seconds for just a fraction of cents rather than a fiat-backed stablecoin? I just can't imagine why. So it really does make sense now, where we're going to see a bigger, a larger scale trade war, maybe between the West and the BRICS nations, and where XRP could thrive. I mean, obviously, Ripple is positioned in a very, very good position here, because now they have a stablecoin, the RLUSD, and they have XRP, something that has always been around to transfer value without the need for a stablecoin. Brad Garlinghouse has gone on the record several times saying, and this was earlier on, this was before the stablecoin hype. He said, when JP Morgan wanted to come out with their stablecoin, their US dollar pegged coin from the bank, he's like, this is redundant. We don't need this. We have XRP. And essentially all stable coins. I mean, if you want to think of them as a mode of transfer in a new financial system, they're all fairly redundant. You can already use XRP to transfer value. You really don't need any stable coins. Of course, banks and financial institutions and governments have kind of agreed on a different path. So this is why, the XRP utility has, then there was the court issue and why we didn't see it get off the ground there. There's a lot of reasons to kind of consider when it comes to this, but now other countries are realizing, stable coins, if this is what the Trump administration is doing, if they do want to put everything in the crypto cloud and devalue it, start from scratch, well, that's obviously good for the United States. But is it good for the rest of the world? It should come as no surprise that BRICS won't adopt U.S. stablecoins. So this coming from Black Swan Capitalist Versan. Documents from the Central Bank of Russia, India, Brazil, and China's new development bank confirm they've been building on XRP, or the XRP network, for years now. There have been a lot of connections have been discovered over the years with regards to these the major BRICS nations running on the XRPL. So guys, it could be that we do see a bit of a shift here. U.S. denominated stablecoins perhaps being part of the West's strategy for trade, and then we have the BRICS nations on the other side of the world not using U.S. denominated stablecoins. And then in the middle of all this, we've got Kazakhstan's president calling for national crypto reserve. Okay, so cryptocurrency obviously going to play a large role. Everybody's going to be using crypto. It's just now depends on which kinds of crypto they're going to use, which kinds of stablecoins or other bridge assets. The president announced his crypto city plans would be developed in Atlatau. Crypto city plans would be developed in Atlatau. Okay, while the government would move forward to create a strategic crypto reserve with promising assets. The president of Kazakhstan laid out plans for the country's AI and digital asset endeavors, which include a strategic crypto reserve. In an annual address on Monday, he said the government should create a full-fledged ecosystem of digital assets as soon as possible. So guys, it's not just Bitcoin, a full-fledged ecosystem of digital assets as part of its efforts to find effective ways to maximize the return of bank money to the economy. He proposed having the country's Agency for Regulation and Development of the Financial Market draft a law into this effect, and for that to be passed before 2026. So I'm guessing within quarter 4 of 2025. It is advisable to create a state fund of digital assets on the basis of National Bank's Investment Corporation, he said. This structure will accumulate a strategic crypto reserve consisting of promising assets in a new digital financial system. So promising assets, I think that's code for XRP, some of these other utility coins that we're going to see when it comes to tokenization, when it comes to, bridge currencies, bridge assets. So there's a handful there. His announcement came about 2 months after his report suggested that Kazakhstan's national bank was considering a national crypto reserve funded by seized digital assets. So what's the next step here? The government was planning to create a pilot zone in which crypto could be used to pay for goods and services. At the time, though, reports speculated the so-called crypto city would be up in that town of Alatau, a city of about 52,000 people in the southern area of Kazakhstan. So I guess we're just going to have to see what happens here. He says it's the first fully digitized city in the region utilizing cryptocurrency for payments. So is it going to be Bitcoin? Is it going to be leveraging XRP for real-world payments as a bridge asset? There has been some confirmation that Kazakhstan has been working with Ripple in the past. So guys, it would only make sense if this particular country does run on the XRP ledger, and considering they're looking at a crypto city in particular, and with regards to what they've been saying down here, National Crypto Reserve. Okay, so that's one thing. Chances are they're going to include XRP, but also utilizing crypto for payments. Maybe we're going to see, and I have a feeling it's a very strong maybe. Maybe we're going to see countries start to do this in droves, especially on that side of the world, as we're seeing U.S. dollar dominance being protected by the U.S. government. Cointelegraph pointing this out. Okay, so this is just in. Congress introduces a new bill requiring the Treasury to study establishing a strategic Bitcoin reserve and U.S. digital asset stockpile, including feasibility assessment and custody framework for federal digital assets. So this is a brand new bill, was just released, and it's looking at those two things, okay, the strategic Bitcoin reserve and specifically U.S. digital asset stockpile. Now, what is a digital U.S. asset stockpile? Maybe you're asking this. Well, digital asset by commenting, I wonder if a stockpile will create an XRP price floor at some point. Think of it for a second. When somebody or some entity, a big entity, namely the U.S. government, decides to stockpile something, if you have enough of it, you can control the price. And here's Chris Giancarlo, former CFTC chair, explaining how stockpiles have historically worked for commodities. Historically, listen to this.
Well, countries have been stockpiling commodities since the beginning of time. And today, major economies stockpile everything from soybeans to pork to copper, and of course, precious metals like gold and silver, and of course, energy materials such as petroleum. So stockpiling analog commodities that are natural commodities that come out of the ground, is very commonplace. What we're now talking about is stockpiling the world's first digital commodity, which is what Bitcoin is. And it's just really applying that same process of stockpiling natural commodities to now stockpiling digital commodities. So I don't find that far-fetched. Countries stockpile commodities for all sorts of reasons, both for domestic use, but also to control international prices. Countries stockpile gold to affect the world gold price. They stockpile petroleum to affect the world oil price. And doesn't surprise me that countries would seek, including the United States, to stockpile Bitcoin in order both to provide resources for domestic use, but more importantly, to affect global use and ultimately the price of this new digital commodity.
But guys, I don't just think it's Bitcoin. I think perhaps President Donald Trump may have other plans up his sleeve. We know which cryptocurrencies are going to be valuable. It's just a matter of time before we see how this is going to play out, how it's all going to shake out. It's just a matter of time before we start to see which stockpiles are going to be meaningfully controlled. As Chris Giancarlo says, they can control international prices by stockpiling any particular crypto asset. So if you think Bitcoin's the only one, I guess, again, that's just my opinion. And for more opinions on where I think the market's going to go, how I'm treating my XRP position, and not just XRP, guys, I have a handful of other cryptocurrencies, actually quite a few. Check it out, patreon.com/workingmoneychannel for more information on that. And if you guys are interested in maybe supporting the channel in a different way, I also have the Working Money Channel merch store. That is up and running. You can find that. The link is in the description of the video. All kinds of cool merch here. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.